Hello, lovely witches. This is Dawn from Aurora. Dawn, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. And I am going to do this video. It's part of a series of videos that I've been making. It's called Journey of the Crone. It's a playlist that I put together. This is my journey, things that I'm learning about menopause and about becoming a crone. And I'm just sharing with you things that I've come across and how well they're working for me. And just a disclaimer, I am not a doctor. In fact, I prefer to stay away from doctors and to be drug-free. Um, if you want to live long and prosper, stay away from doctors. My opinion, I understand there's a lot of hullabaloo about that. Google is censoring natural remedies and natural health and so on. So I suggest if you have, an ailment you want to search, go to DuckDuckGo. Don't search it on Google because all you get are science, which nothing wrong with that. A bunch of science research and stuff like that. Sometimes that is very helpful. Sometimes it is not. And the problem with it, biggest problem is that in order for something to be tested and FDA approved, you have to spend millions of dollars in testing before FDA will approve it. Once it passes all that testing, then they'll approve it. And with something that's natural, cannot be patented, therefore you cannot sell it for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars that people don't have. So they have a monopoly on the medical field, and I'm not going to go into it, but it is definitely a conspiracy if you look at the history, where it came from, and so on and so forth. But I don't want to go into that. I want to get into becoming a crone because it's frustrating, seriously. So I have a new book that I've been reading. I've had this book forever, and I decided, well, better read it because it probably has a lot of good information that I might want to know. So I will turn this around and excuse the stuff on the wall. It's to keep us warm. Okay, Christian Northrup, MD. So she is an MD, people. She is a medical doctor. Women's bodies, women's wisdom, creating physical and emotional health and healing. Okay, so what's different about her is that she understands nutritional supplements, and she understands nutrition and how that affects our health. So that's why I like her a lot. And so I started reading it, and of course I skipped straight to the menopause, right? Because I'm already done with all the other stuff. But she says something that made me very, not depressed, but made me sad. It's that menopause lasts a minimum of six years. A minimum. So I got a ways to go then. It's not just when you stop menstruating. It's menopause is an ordeal. It's a journey. It's not an ordeal. Not everybody, I've got a friend who didn't have any symptoms whatsoever. Actually, I have two friends. They didn't have any hot flashes. They didn't have any problems sleeping. They don't, nothing. It just transitioned right into it. No problems whatsoever. And indigenous people who live off the land, who are very, very healthy, and they're connected to the land, and they eat food that's not laden with pesticides and is not genetically modified, and maybe that's okay, who knows, we don't know. And they just don't have the environment that we live in, with all the EMF and with all the stuff in the air and in our water. And so on and so forth. So it's much easier for them. They don't have a word for hot flashes because they don't experience that. Okay, so we have toxins in our body that we have to deal with. And when we go through menopause, everything freaks the F out, and the body has trouble dealing with those toxins. And so it throws everything off. Okay, so I'm kind of going off the rails here, but I wanted to mention this book, and she's very big on nutrition and supplements, whereas the average allopathic doctor, conventional doctor, doesn't have a clue. They don't learn nutrition and nutritional supplements. That's for the nutritionists. So, you know, they can't advise you. They don't know. So that's why I stay away from doctors. Not because they're out to get me or make me sick or keep me sick or whatever. It's because they don't know. They truly, honestly want to make people better, but they've been taught by the pharmaceutical company. So I'm off that. Okay, next. Forefront Health. It's the company, all right? This is molecular progesterone. It is in MCT and vitamin E oil. MCT. That's found in like avocados and coconut oil. It's I can't remember, I'm sorry. MCT is a very, very important oil. It's very good for you. And then the other one from Forefront is a desiccated thyroid from cows, grass-fed cows in New Zealand. So I'm going to show you. And there they are. This is from a company called Forefront. All right. So the progesterone is because when menopause hits, estrogen goes down, or for some people, other people estrogen skyrockets, and it'll, for all of us, it fluctuates really. It doesn't, it's not like, oh, I'm estrogen dominant and that's the way it is. No, it goes up and down, depends on what's going on in your body and stuff. So progesterone helps to regulate estrogen. I don't think it flushes out excess estrogen. I do have red clover tea that is infused. That means I let it sit overnight, steep overnight, in order to pull as much out as possible. And it's very concentrated, so I mix it with another tea or dilute it with water and drink it. And that is supposed to help flush out excess. I believe so. I'm pretty sure. So the thyroid is because my thyroid is not working very well. It's hypo. And I've read that your thyroid can go up and down too. Depends on what's going on one day to the next day. It could be hyper one day and hypo the next day. So taking this is much better than Synthroid. I don't want to get into details, but the Synthroid is the wrong, I think it's T4, and really what you need is T3 or something like that. So I'm taking this, which has all of the hormones that my thyroid needs to be producing, but it isn't right now. And so this is to supplement those hormones that my thyroid is having trouble, because it's confusing. It's complicated, and I tend to, eyes glaze over, and because it's hormones and everything's interconnected. It's freaking amazing that my body or anybody's body can keep it together. It's really amazing. So I just started another product because I have signs that my cortisol is way too high. So sleep disturbance, hair loss, definitely on your legs, like my shins and my calves, no, hardly any hair at all. And also dark pigmentation under the armpits. It's not very much. I've seen pictures of people that were really dark. I've heard that that's also thyroid. So, and it seems like thyroid and adrenals, you know, the cortisol thing, are two peas in a pod. They share very similar. A lot of the symptoms are very much the same. So I picked this up. I'll show you this. It's Adrenal DMG for adrenal health, stress reduction, immune system. So it boosts the immune system. It's got ashwagandha. It's got licorice root. Let's see what else. Caprylic acid, which is very good for you. Garlic, grapefruit seed extract. Also HCI. Menopause and postmenopause, if it messes up your thyroid, then you're gonna have trouble with digestion. And I definitely have some issues. So HCI is hydrochloric acid that your liver produces naturally and helps you digest. But as you get older, like everything else, it goes downhill. So you produce fewer enzymes, produce less HCI, produce less bile and stuff, and it just, I don't know why, but it seems like the body's shutting down. It's like slowly dying, and I don't know that it's really necessary for it to do that. But until, I don't know, I'm trying to support my body, give my body what it should be producing on its own. These are all natural products. These are all like hormones and things that should be all just being produced naturally. Nothing is synthetic. That's very important to me. This progesterone that I showed you, this is what did they call it? Biomolecular? No. It's natural. It mimics the natural progesterone. So it bioidentical. Brain. Work. Okay, so bioidentical hormones, which function just like the natural hormones, but that doesn't mean they're okay to just take whatever you want. You gotta be careful. Now, progesterone will be transformed into estrogen as the body needs it. So if you have too much progesterone, it's not a big deal. So that's why I went with progesterone. And then the herbs will help flush out excess estrogen, because like I said, you go up and down. You can get a hormone test, but it's not, I think the saliva is probably the most accurate, but if you do the blood test, it's not going to be very accurate, because estrogen receptors are all through your body. And you can have too much estrogen and it won't show up in the blood because it's too busy in all these receptors. So, I was reading something. Something that closes down the extra estrogen receptors so you don't have so many open and all these estrogen, clogging up the system. It'll close down. I can't remember what it is. I'm sorry. I will research that, and maybe my next video I will mention it. Or if I remember, I can put it down in the description below. But that is what I'm taking. I'm still doing the frankincense on my throat and the clary sage. Clary sage also regulates the estrogen. So if you have too much, it helps the liver flush it out. So I'm still doing those two for the most part, and some lavender and geranium essential oils. So that's it. Yeah. So if I make any changes, I will let you know. So far, I haven't seen. I was gonna. Okay. So I don't have any paper right here, but let me just describe it to you. I don't want to show you. I do not want to show you my tongue because that's gross. But on my tongue, I've noticed coming into menopause that the edges are scalloped and there's a crack down the center. And research, some people say the crack means you have digestive issues. And other people say it's a sign that you have food sensitivities, which I have both. And if you have food sensitivities, you have digestive health issues. Just that's the way it works. Scalloped edges, I cannot find anything really substantial about it. I found a couple of sites that said Chinese medicine says it's your spleen. I don't know. But when I started taking the progesterone, I found that my tongue looked better. It almost went perfectly healthy. Like no crack, hardly any crack, almost no crack at all, and very little scalloped edges. So whatever is causing my tongue to look like this, I think it has to do with hormones. So I'll just throw that out there just in case it helps any of you. And I think that's it for now. I still on occasion have trouble sleeping. I bounce my knee a lot. I'm on the sofa, got my legs stretched out. I wag my foot like crazy, drives Skip nuts. I'm feeling kind of on the edge, a little bit agitated like all the time. And that is a sign of cortisol. Cortisol is too high. So meditation and ashwagandha is probably one of the best adaptogens that you can take. And some people say that you need to take adaptogens and no caffeine whatsoever. I'm not sure on that, but I'm going to test that experiment this weekend and not consume any coffee or any caffeine, period, over the weekend. I do that periodically just to check in with myself. If I get headaches or if I get intense cravings for coffee, then I know it's not a good relationship with coffee. But so far, it's been good. And but I want to test this to see if my agitation is being triggered by coffee. So we'll see, and we'll be experimenting this weekend. All right, so that's it for now. I am going to continue on. Please let me know your thoughts, what you do that works for you, that helps you sleep, that helps you relax. Meditation is huge for me. It helps me just calm the F down. And quick to anger and frustration, just getting really agitated. I have found that sugar, about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes after eating sugar, I get angry. I'm really angry. I want to break things. I want to, just bust my fist through the wall. It's really not good. So I gotta really cool it with the sugar. And I am exercising very lightly, so that should help as well. Okay, that's it. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Do something today that brings you joy and makes you feel good. Love you all, and until next time, blessed be.